Political parties are all talking about when will the real action take place, will the accountability be fixed as far as the institution is concerned, and also about the warden, will the abetment to suicide charges be in fact put on her? That's the big question. Joining me at this moment on the broadcast, Priyadarshini, she's a student leader who's joining us at this moment. We are also being joined by Dr. Rajeev Jayadevan, convener of the Research Cell, Indian Medical Association, Kerala State. We are also being joined by Nirmal Kaur, retired IPS, former DGP, and we are being joined by Kevin Matthew, political analyst, supports the government of Kerala. Dr. Jayadevan, let me understand from you, sir. People are now taking this case as an example of what is wrong with our education system. Kerala, a bulk of students, in fact, do opt for nursing courses and others. Is it time to relook in the way we are treating, training, and ensuring that these students get the best education?
Absolutely. This is a horrendous tragedy that Chaitanya passed away after this suicide attempt. Now, for our viewers, let me just take them through the basics of suicide first. I think many of our viewers do not understand it clearly. In Kerala, which is number 2 in India in terms of number of suicides per population, 29 people kill themselves every day in the state. And other states are very close behind, all right? Sikkim is just above Kerala. Now, what is more scary and more important is for every completed suicide, that is successful suicide, when a person dies, there are 20 attempts, suicide attempts. So for every 20 suicide attempts, there are many more people who are actually thinking about suicide. So when we discuss programs like this, we must discuss this matter with great sensitivity, because we may be inserting thoughts into people who may be having just an ideation. And here is a scary statistic for you. We are under the impression that suicides occur over a period of 6 months or 3 months or at least a week's planning.
Yes.
Did you know that half the suicides, 48%, the gap between thought and action, suicidal thought and action, is less than 10 minutes. So, this means that a stressed out individual, regardless of what their background is, some people are more sensitive, some people may have an underlying condition, some people may have a different personality or have a different upbringing, they may have a different background. These people could potentially harm themselves. So it's very important in such situations where, for example, a hostel or a college or an office, if someone is sad, they must get help immediately.
This needs to be enforced. I mean, if it is not voluntary happening, the government needs to step in and enforce and ensure that there are certain provisions put in place, certain practices put in place that are need to follow for the well-being of these students. Dr. Jayadevan, let me, because I'm completely out of time, let me end this at this moment with asking you this. If there are people, those who are watching, and we are hoping that Chaitanya, at least with her life, the only change that she's been able to make is that nobody else has to go through the ordeal that she does. What would you say to those who are studying at these moments, young, impressionable minds, they may be going through their own struggles, not to give up?
Yes, hostels have rules for the students' own safety and discipline. We saw the case of a horrendous ragging episode where 5 nursing students were arrested just 2 months back in Kerala. Now, discipline is double-edged. It can, if it is too much, if it is too harsh, it can be a problem. If it is too soft, also the students themselves, their safety is compromised. So students must understand that suicide is not a solution. Students must have a system where they can safely and anonymously report problems, either among themselves. For instance, ragging, it is still rampant all over India. And second, harassment by for example, wardens, in offices, harassment by superiors, in offices, and in colleges, harassment by colleagues. All of these, there has to be a system in place to voluntarily and safely report them, and also a helpline. See, I am an office bearer for the Medical Association. We have a helpline for doctors. If I am feeling stressed, there is a helpline for me to call. So every institution must have a helpline where a student who is stressed out can reach out safely with confidentiality and where he or she can get help. And that's a change we need.
That's the change, and that change is going to come from a systemic level. There has to be more empathy, more understanding. A lot of people are going through a lot of issues. It's very hard for parents of like Chaitanya's to, in fact, even think of getting their daughter educated, a better life for them. And if a life is snuffed away in this manner, it only leaves a lot of questions on all of us as society and the systems that we live in. Thank you so much to all of you for joining me at this moment on this broadcast. Remember, our campaign will continue. We'll keep speaking about it till the time there is some concrete action taken in this case. As we say, heads must roll. No more Chaitanya.